because I used to stress so much, like I would like make myself physically sick. And now I just tell myself, Ravon, all of the feelings that you're feeling right now, and even these comments that they're making, 2 weeks from now, they're not going to be thinking about you and your stupid pattern. Like they have moved on to somebody else to harass.
Right.
So now I'm just like, this is my life. I'm sporadic. You're going to get it when you get it. That's who I am. And you can love it or you can hate it, but it's not going to change it.
Right.
So yeah, so now I'm learning my release dates aren't as stressful as they used to be because I'm more forgiving with myself.
Hello and welcome back to Splitting Seams. My name is Shannon and I am your host. So today's guest is Ravon from Lola. She owns a business that offers hardware, vinyl, recently started expanding into other textiles as well, such as water-resistant canvas and things like that. And yeah, she's been in business since around the pandemic, and I knew of Ravon. We have had a couple brief conversations, but this was my first real time interacting with her. And I wanted to have her on the show because I have just heard that her energy is just very contagious, very fun. And I have to say that was exactly the case during this episode. I had a lot of fun. Her vibe is just very, very infectious, and I just had a great time during our conversation. We talk about the growth of her business, some of our designing preferences. I go on a couple minutes of a tangent about foam, and we just genuinely had a really great time. So I hope you enjoy the show, so let's get into it. Hey Ravon, welcome to Splitting Seams.
Hey Shannon.
So I am so glad that you agreed to come on, and I am so glad that we were able to get to this point. We have already been essentially chatting for the last hour, getting everything set up, and but we got here, and it was
all my
fantastic.
fault, guys. It was all my fault.
Oh, no, it was great. It was great. This was the first time that I had to be tech support. I loved it. Thank you. But also thanks for sticking with it, because I know that our episodes tend to be long, and I just appreciate you putting in the effort to go through with it, because
hey, I'm here for it. I'm excited.
I know I love your vibe, so I'm so excited to just have this chat.
Thank you. Same.
Well, so for those who don't know who you are, Ravon, can you give us a little bit of an idea of who you are, what your business is, and kind of how you came to sewing?
Of course. So my name is Ravon. I am the owner of Lola. So I haven't, as I've been in the community of sewing and meeting a lot of people in the bag making community, I haven't been doing this very long, because some of these people have been, they've been about this life for 15, 20, 25 years. So I am kind of new to the community. I started sewing back during the pandemic.
Okay.
That was the first time that I ever touched a sewing machine. Now, when I was a kid, my mom used to sew a lot.
Okay.
She would make my clothes for school, and she would make matching outfits for my friends. We would wear it to school together. So I've always been around sewing, but I never got on a machine. So she would, I would take her scraps and I would hand sew Barbie clothes with them.
Oh.
I had my Barbies matched all of my outfits. I always knew how to sew by hand. And when I got older, I would do, little hemming, or I would change up a shirt if I wanted it to fit a different way, but I always did it by hand. I never thought to get a sewing machine. And then when the pandemic came around, I was a manager at a bar. I used to bartend a lot. I bartended for a long time through college. After college, I continued bartending, then I started managing. And so when the pandemic, the restaurant shut down, and so I was not working. And so I just I had time to get back to being creative, because I like to create things. It doesn't matter what it is. I love to create things, and especially learn new things. So I was like, what can I do with this free time? And I was like, well, I used to my mom used to sew, and I would sew pillows and stuff by hand. To decorate, I like to do this. I was like, maybe I can start doing something like this on a sewing machine. So I went and got me a little repurposed. What is it when it's
refurbished?
You buy it refurbished.
Refurbished, I think.
Refurbished. Okay, yes. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing a syllable or a vowel or something. I don't know. But I went and got one from Walmart, and I think I paid like $40 or $50 for that thing. And I started sewing pillows. Like, baby, when I tell you, Dave was like, don't make another pillow for this house. Like,
That's me in blankets, okay?
There was a pillow everywhere, baby. And then I saw that people were making masks. So I was like, oh, okay, let me make a mask. I had never made anything from a pattern before, because these pillows, you're just cutting squares.
Yeah.
So that's when I first, realized you can take a pattern and use it to cut. So I was pretty intrigued. And then one day I was on YouTube, and so I started making masks and selling them, because it wasn't just going to be a normal mask. I'm going to make it pretty. So I'm like creating designs on Cricut. Like I'm buying all these different materials, like, because I want these to be the prettiest masks in the world. So I'm actually started selling quite a few masks. And that's when I created my business, Love Lola, because when I do something, I'm pretty like super focused, and I have to do it like all the way. I'm not just going to sell masks to my friends. I need a website. I need to have a payment. You know what I mean? Like I go all out. So I set up my Love Lola business, but it was only to sell these masks. And it was cool. Like I was shipping masks to Canada. Like people were buying online, like really buying these masks from me. And it was fun and all, but it kind of got boring. And then one day I came across someone making a bag on YouTube, like a purse. I didn't know that you could make your own bag. Like that blew my mind. Like, wait, what? I can sew my own bag? Like you don't think about stuff like this. Like, I don't know. I was like, it comes from China. Like somebody's making it, or a machine. I don't know. But when I saw like, I can make my own bag, I just got like I said, again, I'm very super, like when I tune into something, I'm doing it. Baby, when I tell you, I was watching bag making like tutorials all day. And when I wasn't watching it, I was reading blogs. I was reading anybody who had a blog about how to make a purse. I'm reading it. Anything about hardware, like I'm reading it. I'm researching. I knew everybody who sold hardware. I knew everything about bag making, baby. It was like YouTube 101.
But you still hadn't sewn one yet.
I still hadn't sewn one, because before I do something, I have to like totally research it.
Okay, so you got a deep dive.
Yeah, I have to do a deep dive. I have to know all of the things. And so, after like going super crazy into bag making, I finally started doing it. And because I think that I put so much energy into learning about it, I did good at it. And when I look back now, like, no, they weren't great, but for a beginner, they were pretty good. And I already had my website at that point because of the mask. So when I would make my bags, I would put it on my website and I would post it on social media. And what happened was I posted it in a certain group, and it kind of, I don't want to say viral, because viral means like millions, but it just got a lot of attention.
Right.
And from there, that's how my business first started, was I started making custom bags. That was all that I did. I just sold custom bags, and I was busy. Like it was something. I was like, oh my God, people are really ordering purses for me. It's crazy. But so that's how my business started, was mask. And then it was purses. It was custom purses. But I got really burnt out on it. And if you need me to stop talking for the next question, tell me to stop.
No,
otherwise
you're
I'm going to just keep talking. Okay, because I'm a talker. I'm a talker.
I love that.
Okay.
That's what people are here for.
Okay, good. So I started selling a lot of custom bags, but it really burnt me out. Like, I was like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, real talk. Like, I'm going to fucking lose it, because I couldn't be creative. They're telling me what they want, and I'm just like a machine making it. So
I get it. There's no creative expression with it. You're just doing what you're told, and you're being paid for it. And
you're being paid for it, so you have to do it. But it's like, it was a dread. It was getting to where I dreaded going in my sewing room to make this damn bag. So now while this is going on, this is how I kind of expanded into YouTube tutorials. So I'm really like, I like to share. I like to help. I like to give information, because I like information so much. So if someone asks me a question, I want to give them that answer, because I know that I would want the information. So what I would do a lot was I would take bag patterns. I would look for a lot of free patterns, and then I would modify these patterns to be what I wanted it to be, and then usually wind up selling it. So it was a lot of modifications going on. And whenever I would post it, I always have people asking me, well, how did you do this? How did you do that? What's the measurement? And I would answer these questions, but it got to where it was like, I was spending hours a day just responding to private messages from people back and forth, sending them the links to where I got this material. Like
doing all
it
the legwork.
It was like work.
Mm-hmm.
It was like work, and it was fine, but it was another thing that was just pulling so much energy from me. So what I decided to do was decided I'm going to make a tutorial for this one specific bag. It was the Mabel by Swoon that I was getting so much attention from, and all the questions for the modifications. I said, you know what? I'm going to just do a tutorial. So that way I can reference everyone to go to this link and just watch my modifications instead of me answering 101 on 101.
And you get the views.
Exactly.
2 in 1.
Yeah, 2 in 1, you know? And at the time, I didn't even know that was a thing. This is me coming in. I don't know shit about shit. I didn't even know that. I was just a baby. I was a bag making baby. So I did the tutorial, and it just like got so much attention. People are requesting, oh, you should do another tutorial. You should do this and that and that and that. And so I'm like, oh, okay, this is a thing. Like, I didn't know that this is a real thing. Like, you want me to keep going. This was just for you to leave me alone. So then that's how I feel like I kind of grew my name as far as my business name was through tutorials, because at that point I was putting out tutorials like almost weekly. Wow. Like it was like bam, bam, bam. And then I did a tutorial for, a bag designer, Shambhala, and she actually reached out to me. And so I began doing a tutorial for everyone for releases. So like I was busy now doing tutorials. I still wasn't selling anything as far as like my business. I hadn't evolved to that yet. This is still just Ravon figuring out what the hell she's doing. And but I guess I'm answering that question, how my business started, because it's still under Love Lola.
How it evolved. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it evolved. And so now I have my business, which is just me selling custom bags, and I have my YouTube channel. And now I am really getting into bag making and deciding that I'm now learning about bag making groups, because before this, I didn't even know that there was all that stuff online.
Yeah. You're learning about the community, essentially.
I'm learning about the community. Yes, thank you. I'm learning about the community. And it was something. It was something.
It can be, for sure. It can be. It has lots of facets. Oh my gosh. It's not as simple as so many of us make it out to be.
It's not. But going into it, I didn't know that. So I will say that. That's a whole nother conversation right there. But anyway, so I'm getting into the bag making communities and stuff. And my aesthetic when it comes to bag making is very, I used to say plain, but I guess that isn't a good word to use. But I don't like too much going on when it comes to, I'm a minimalist. I am. I want there to be a wow factor, but that wow factor, I want it to come from the assembly or
the craftsmanship,
the hardware.
You want that artisanal sort of minimalist, high quality, not over the top, subtle. Get it? I totally get it. That's my vibe. Okay.
I know. I already know. I love your work, so I'm a fan. So I know.
Thank you.
So at this point, what I felt like I wanted, I couldn't find it a lot when it came to making a bag. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to find these items myself, and I'm just going to buy it for myself, you know? And I only really use gold hardware for my bags. I'm just in love with gold. It's my vibe. It's what I do. And so I was buying gold from a lot of people, and they weren't matching. So when I would go to make a bag, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to just go and buy a bunch of gold for myself, and that's going to be it. I'm going to be done with it. And so here goes another deep dive. I'm obsessed now. I spent like maybe 5-6 months just like researching hardware. You know, I do like a designer bag. I don't like to pay for the bag, but I like the aesthetic of it. So I'm constantly Googling designer bags, seeing what's trending. I'm taking screenshots and taking pictures. And now I'm going to Alibaba, and I am just doing photo searches. I am just hitting up every supplier, sending them pictures. This is what I'm looking for. Can you do this? Do you have it? Can you make it? How many have the buy? So it was just this big I was obsessed. Like, I'm talking every day. It was like a job. So, and when I was doing this, I had people start saying, you know, I wouldn't mind having some hardware like that, because I was just doing it for me at this point.
But everyone
And
was feeling the struggle of gold hardware. Like, and so for those that don't know, just to clarify, because there are some non-sewists that listen, when you buy gold hardware, there are different tones of the gold, and they clash horribly with each other when they're used on the same product. And so you could have a D ring that's warm gold, and you would have some maybe rectangle rings that would be more of a cooler tone, and it would just, you just can't ignore it. And so there's people, so many of us have been in the boat of hoping for the best. But even some shops, their gold finishes will change batch to batch when they receive them from the suppliers. Like, even that's frustrating. So I get it. And I'll let you get back, but just to say, I fully appreciate you creating that, because there was a intense need for like that hardware color to at least match a little bit.
Yeah.
And so you were able to provide that. And there has been a time where I specifically needed gold hardware that matched each other for one bag. And so I had done the point where like, oh, I'm already ordering this, I'm already ordering that. Let me just tack on gold from these shops. And then I get them and I'm like, well, I might as well throw them away, because nothing else I have matches it.
Nothing else.
So, but yours did. So like, good job. You've figured it out. You cracked the case on that. So we love that for you and for us, for sure. So go ahead. So you did the deep dive. You got the hardware.
Got the hardware.
So you got the stock.
And it went great. And I want to say that I did have some, you know, I'm always asking for feedback. I love to hear other people's opinions, even if it doesn't match mine. I still love to hear input. I love it. I love to put things around in my head. So I was kind of afraid, because I was getting feedback like, what makes you think that people want to buy from you? And what makes you think that, you know, that they only want to buy gold? Like, people want, you know, so it was I guess this is my little piece to say, if you have something that you want to do and you believe in it, just do it. You know, there's always going to be that. I don't even want to call it negative, you know, because it was just feedback. But you just have to.
Some of it sounded negative. Like, first of all,
sounded like a hater, huh?
Yeah. Like, one of the through lines of the show has been do the damn thing for everything, right? You know? And that was like my big thing for this show. Was just do the damn thing. It's terrifying. I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like, who the hell do I think I am making a podcast? But
You're
I did
bitch, girl.
Did it. Head bitch in charge over here.
Yeah.
And so I fully agree with you. Like, just do it because you want to do it, not because somebody else says that they don't think you should do it. Like, that should not be part of the equation, right? The equation should just include, do I want to do it? Can I do it? Even if you can't do it yet, you could eventually. So, like, get there. You agree entirely.
Yeah. So that's what I did, girl. I went and got all this gold hardware and I put it out there, and surprisingly, people started buying it. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. Like, I'm a part of this. Like, I felt like, and then I felt like I'm really like a part of this community. Like, people that I have seen make bags online are now using my hardware. Like, it was just a very moment where I felt like really accepted, you know, because
kind of came full circle a little bit.
Yeah. Because I felt like an outsider. I felt like, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but when I discovered this community of sewists, and it was like everyone knew each other.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know any of them, and none of them knew me. So I always felt like an outsider coming into the bag making community. Also, I'm just going to keep it real. Being a person of color, I felt like, you know, I wasn't really seeing too much of that. So I just really felt like an outsider. And so when I started this company and became a supplier, I felt like, oh my God, I'm really in here. Like, I'm really a part of this. I'm visible. So it was a nice feeling when, you know, when I introduced.
So when you said you essentially were kind of on the outside looking in, and then you put yourself in the community and it wasn't what you expected. Do you know what you were expecting, and how did it differ from that? It's okay if you can't.
You know what?
define
Let me
it.
say this, because I feel like I have to be fair. I have to be fair because I think that the way I felt in the beginning, I think that it got jaded by some things that happened later. And it's
Okay.
making me kind of say what I'm saying about it wasn't what I thought it would be. So
Okay.
maybe I should back it up a bit, because in the beginning, it I would say it was a great experience in the beginning.
So I
Because
got,
I think, because you know how they say ignorance is bliss.
yeah.
So maybe in the beginning, because I didn't know what was going on, or
Yeah.
I wasn't in tune,
Mm-hmm.
it was great. But then when I started getting in tune and seeing and hearing, that's when I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was.
So I've said this before a million times on the show, but so when I first started out sewing, I had a tiny bubble, right? I was kind of just sewing and sharing it here and there, but like I didn't speak to any other owners or pattern designers or anything. But as my work expanded, my reach expanded, my bubble expanded, right? So then I started talking. I started striking for teams. I tested for Erica from Lavender and Twine and a couple other, but like my name started to be recognized as like a bag maker. And this was kind of right in the midst of the bag making boom, where so many people were coming in from the pandemic and things like that. But then the jading comes later, where all of a sudden you're having all this fun, all these positive interactions, and then you get a couple negative ones. And then you're like, well, I don't want that. And so then you kind of like hit, you shrink it back down. And so, and then that's when you get more comfortable. I feel like, I know I've said this so many times, but I feel like so many people relate to the same experience of like, our community is still really small in the grand scheme of communities out there in the world.
Yeah.
But it's still large enough to where we still need to kind of maintain our small bubbles and protect our kind of innocence in that way as much as we can, because we get, we're also kind of inclusive and kind of accepting and kind of welcoming. But most of the time it's surface level with a lot of the interactions that we have in our community. And so you just need to eventually find the ones that are deeper level than that. And that is where I think the jaded part of things comes, and where you kind of have a different view of the community itself. And all of that sounds super negative, and it's not. It's just you need to reprioritize your focus and where you put your energy and into the right people.
Yes, that part right there. Absolutely. 100%.
Because it's a shitty journey to get there, but
it is.
It's the reality.
It is, and that's, and when you said that, like what you said was perfect about how you have to shift and reconstruct and build your own now new space. It's that's what happened. That's how I created my Facebook group, is because of some things that was happening. And another group that I would say is one of the biggest groups out there, that when I first started making bag making, I thought that was the only group on social media. I didn't know there were other groups, because I was new. I didn't know any designer names. And so therefore I didn't know the designers had their own groups. I didn't, that one group was the only group that I thought existed on Facebook, because I was just a newbie and I was just so silly. And
that's the only group you knew of. Oh my.
It was the only group I knew of. I just typed in bag making, and so that's what came up. And so that was my connection to people who made bags like me. Because people, my friends in real life, nobody sews, nobody does. So that was my lifeline. Like I spent all of my time was spent in that group, because I was trying to learn. I was new. I was learning. So I was reading.
It's
active, and people are talking with me. I'm like, oh, these are people. It felt like my friends, and we're talking about bags. So, but what I found was the more that my popularity grew in this space, it came with it was it went from it went from like the positive and the love and the welcome to I almost felt like it was like you're getting too much attention
Mm,
and
yeah.
you need to know your place. That's the kind of
Yeah. Why do you
that's
deserve this? That kind
why
of
are
mentality?
you not even why do you deserve it, but just like you're getting too much attention. So know your place. Like, because I don't even know if it was a deserved thing. It just felt like, I don't know. And again,
Some form of a judgment.
some form of a judgment. And being a person of color, whenever feelings like that come in, it's hard to know if a little bit of that is sprinkled
Yeah.
into what you're receiving, because you just
That's a
can't.
fair judgment. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
fair assessment and a fair fear. Like,
And it's the only thing that I know. Like it's the only feeling that I know how, I can only respond the way that I feel.
right.
And so it put me in a really, it just really, really, like, it really hurt me. I'm not gonna lie. Like it really hurt me. And it, it, it made me fall back from the bag making community. And again,
Okay.
at this point, I was not a part of anything else. So what I did was I said, you know what? I want to create a space for bag makers that is, the word I want to use is like, I think of when I meet these people, I think like I'm making friends. We all happen to make bags, but I really was looking for a place where I can grow friendships with women.
So you
Like
wanted an authentic community.
I wanted an authentic community where no one has to feel they're going to be treated a certain way because they're getting too much attention or because maybe this rule is they didn't know this rule or just I wanted first of all a place where there weren't too many rules because I am very like all over the place and I don't have a lot of structure. So I don't do well with that, just not on purpose. I think it's because I really just I can't remember everything.
Yeah.
I can't remember stuff. So I wanted a space where we didn't feel like we were afraid to break a rule and a place where there's just I don't know, like I wanted it to be a positive environment and we just happened to make bags.
Right.
So that's when I started my Facebook group, Love Lola.
So were you already selling hardware at this point or no after?
I was not selling hardware because this is when I was still just into making custom bags. This is when I was making custom bags and I had kind of blown up not blown up, but I had grown in the sewing community. People knew who I was now. If I posted something, they know Ravon made that bag.
So were you starting tutorials yet or no?
I don't.
So it's pre that.
Yeah. I had started tutorials, but I hadn't started selling hardware. I had started tutorials.
So
I think
that's
I've been
where
making
your
tutorials
reach
for
was
about a
growing
year.
and things like that. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, that's how I grew my following was through the tutorials. So now I was like, okay, enough people know my name. At that point, I think I maybe had 5,000 or 6,000 followers on YouTube. So I was like, if I start a group now, I feel like enough people know me where they will, come to this group. So that's when I started the group. And then once I started my group and my group started growing and I was going to order my hardware, that's when I was like, okay, well, I actually have people that are in my group. Like who would have fucking thought if they're in my group, then maybe they'll buy my hardware. And then that's when I started, that's when I introduced the hardware.
Okay.
So I guess the thing about me is I love friendships. I value friendships. Like people in real life know I'm a ride or die. If you're my girl, you're my girl, and we go hard. And so I wanted kind of that community in bag making. Like I wanted people who are my friends and we just happen to make bags. And I can still, you know what? I can still be like, hey, oh my God, y'all, I just got this new plant. It's dying. Like, do you have any plants? Do you like plants? Like, what do you think I should do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted a place where I can talk about all of the things really, but the main focus is bag making. But, and that's why in my group, I have chats that are like, do you like to cook? We share recipes, like,
oh, nice.
And then I have, do you like plants? Like, so it's more about a friendly community, but we also make bags. So that was my goal because I was just so put off by my experience that I wanted a safe place where I could feel like I can have friends and not be made to feel a certain way because of how I am or how I present my bags or whatever. So.
Well, I'm glad you have that space for you now. I mean,
thank you.
And, you know, that's the point of creating these own little mini communities within bigger communities, is so you have a level of comfort in there as well.
Exactly.
So are you still sewing and making custom bags? Or
No,
you
I
left
do
that behind?
not. I do not. I'll do it for my girlfriends. My girlfriends are like, Ravon,
Okay.
you have got to make me this bag. Like, or if I
So
make
how
something, like,
long
girl,
does
give
it
me
take
that.
you when they're like, I want this bag? Do you get it done right away, or do you give
I
it to them
don't.
like a year later?
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be like that.
it's gonna be about 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
for sure.
My cousin got her diaper bag after the baby was born.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Thank you for saying that.
No, it's fine.
It's
My
gonna be 6
husband has
months
been
to a
asking
year.
for a replacement wallet for the one wallet that took me like 2 years to make, and then he's been asking for a new one for at least a year and a half now. And I'm like, honey, that's never going to happen.
It's never gonna happen. Like, get over yourself.
Right. It's going to take me half of a Saturday. Who do you think I am? Like, I can't be forced to do that. I have video games to play.
What is it about? It's like our
I
mind does
don't
reverse
know.
psychology, because, like you said, it's a half a day. It's a half a day. I
Really?
can just make this bag, but
Exactly. I have literally no idea why that is. I think it's because there's no deadline. That's my guess. So for like my business, if you need something from me and you don't give me a deadline, then I won't get it done at all. And like if I tell you I need a fake deadline, I will convince myself that is a real deadline, and I will get
Yeah.
it done at that deadline, even though it's a fake one. It's still
Yeah.
last minute, but I can't get it done like proactively before that. Like I think I need a goal. I need something to work towards, and then I'm good. But
Yeah.
no. But
No,
like
agree.
family,
Same way.
not a snowball's chance in hell. Nope.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
No.
I tell
love
my
you guys,
friends, like,
no.
when I used to do the custom bags, and they would always be like, I'm gonna give me this. I'm just gonna pay you. I would tell them, if you really want me to make this bag, baby, you have to go to my website and order it. Because if it comes through my website and I print it out, that's an order. I have to make it. I have a time frame that I apply to my orders. I said, other than that, baby, I don't know when you're gonna get it. So my friends knew they all would order their bags through my website, because otherwise they're not gonna get it. But now they don't have that option. They're just like, Ravon.
I know.
Yeah, you know, because I don't sell it on my website anymore. They have
Yeah.
to tell me. And I'm just like, baby, I'll try my best, but I just can't.
Part of my problem is that, like, I know that the best that bag will ever look is when it's finished in my sewing room. And so when I see you again 2 years carrying around your beat to hell bag, I don't want to see that. Like, it will make me die inside a little bit. And that's why, like, no, thank you.
Oh, God. You know, now that you say that, funny story, I have a girlfriend of mine that loves my bags. So I've made her quite a few. And, but when she doesn't wear a lot of bags. So when I make her a bag, she wears it to the death. Like, she kills it. And she has a bag of mine that I made her. And baby, it looked so bad. When I would see her with it, it would break my heart. And I made another girlfriend of mine the bag, and myself the same bag at the same time. I did a batch sew because two of them wanted it, and I had an order on my website. At that point, that's when I was still doing bags. So I did a big batch sew. Her bag looked like trash. My bag still looked great. My other friend's bag still looked great. It's because she's hard on bags. And her bag looked so bad that I actually went and made her a new bag.
See,
she didn't even ask me to, and I did it so quick because I just didn't want her out wearing that bag looking like that.
I would have just given her. I would have given her mine, because I'm like, I'll make myself one at some other point, but here's this one, because that's how lazy I am. If it's the same bag that I just batch sewed, take mine. Fine, it's great.
You know, I didn't even think of that. Well, because I wanted mine. I also loved it, so I didn't want to give it away. But yeah, but that was the only thing that made me do this in a timely manner, because I was like, don't wear this anymore. Do not wear this bag anymore, friend. You're done.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, let's backtrack a little bit. So you added hardware. No, you're okay. It's just I don't want to miss these parts of your business journey.
Okay.
So you added hardware, and then you started branching out into vinyl, and then now you branched out into patterns. So
That's correct.
Tell me about getting into the vinyl side of things. And I guess textiles really is the proper term.
Yeah. So, okay. So once I had the hardware going, I was like, oh my God, if I can do hardware, then I can do vinyl. At this point, I'm like, I've finally learned how the whole process works with ordering suppliers, whatever. So why not get the vinyl that I want?
Right.
And in the beginning, I didn't do any prints because, again, I'm kind of I like very plain, minimalist things. So, but I love textures. I love a texture.
Yeah.
And so that's what I started sourcing. And I have some right here just to show an example because like this just makes me so happy.
So for
I
those that are
love,
not watching, that's like a basket weave type debossed texture. And this one
yes,
is the rippled one. It looks like water ripples, I think.
looks like water. So
Which one's that
basically
one?
and this one looks quilted.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see
So
now.
basically I just love, I love textures. And so that's what I was doing in the beginning,
Oh, they're so pretty.
was just looking for a bunch of textured vinyl because, and I also love, like I said, I love a designer look. So I was looking for stuff like this because I'm not going to get a vinyl that
Right. So that one's
says,
like a checkered sort of debossed. Yeah.
so hi, how you doing? I'm not going to get anything that says a brand like, you know, like a knockoff because
Right.
I'm
I
not
don't see the
gonna
purpose
sell
of
that.
those.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no purpose.
I
But
like to each their own. And for those listening who choose to do that, but like I'm never going to make a bag that looks like a Coach bag with fake Coach materials and Coach. Why would I do that? For my opinion, I could make it better. And
yeah.
the point is for me not to be a knockoff. The point is for me to be an individual. So I get that fully.
Yes. So I like to take the aesthetic of it, you know, with the checkers, but it's not going to say like Louis Vuitton on it or anything like that.
Right.
Because A, I don't want to go to jail, but
yeah, that's
B,
always
that's
a
just
good
not
option.
So yeah, so after, I would say probably about a year after I started selling hardware, I added vinyl. About a year, maybe a little longer. I'm horrible with time, but eventually I added vinyl and then recently I started adding prints because even though I'm not big into prints, I have to know my audience. And I know that a lot of people in the sewing community do like to have prints. I don't do the like, I don't know, the cartoon prints and stuff like that, but I did want to do like florals, like,
still kind of a chic vibe.
Yeah, so I've recently started adding prints, and that's about it. And I've started adding like a waterproof canvas because I was like, oh, I could do that too. I don't know.
Why
like,
not?
Why am I still going out buying lining? I could actually sell lining and have it for myself. So now I recently added like it's like a 600 DP weight. So it's good for, you can use it for an exterior of the bag or you can use it for the lining as well. So that's my newest venture that I'm pretty excited about. And then I think maybe about 6 months ago or so, I started doing pattern designing.
I thought that you had been doing it longer than that.
No, this is, I want to say about 6. No, it has been longer. I'm horrible with time.
Same.
Because
same. If I say a year or amount of years, it's probably wrong. Please know that.
Yeah, it's absolutely wrong.
Accurate.
It's not accurate. You're right. Because I did teach a class last year and it was my pattern. So I've been doing it for at least a year then.
Okay.
So probably about a year and a half. Maybe.
That's good. And so what made you jump into that? Because you didn't have enough on your plate already, or?
You know, Shannon, like I said, I love to create things. Like that's what gets me going and it makes me so happy and I enjoy it. And I've always played around with creating bags, but I always would sketch it and and just use like tools to do it. So I would say I've been playing around designing bags on my own for a while, like when I would do modifications and stuff like that. But what it was is I didn't know the software side of it.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? If I want to really design a bag and stop having to modify everything, like actually be able to start from scratch and a shape that I want, I need to learn the software. So I spent probably about a year. It took me about a year at least while I was because it was while I was getting into ordering and becoming a supplier of hardware and vinyl that I first started working on it. So while I was doing that, I was in the background, just teaching myself, watching YouTube videos, practicing, and then eventually I started selling. So I would say about a year, maybe a little longer. But I would say about a year.
Okay.
And then recently I started the software side of it for about a year and a half. And then I finally got to where it was like, okay, now I can start creating these shapes in these software. So even though put the pattern out a year and a half, I had been working on getting
Okay.
to that point, years prior. But again, it was because I just like creating. I like creating things, and that is that's a creative outlet for me.
Absolutely.
Is designing a pattern.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to me. It's fun to me. Again, I love designer bag looks. So a lot of times I will do a dupe because I want that bag, but I don't want to buy it. So I'm going to make it, So, and then I'm like, if I'm going to make it, I might as well design a pattern because I can't be the only person who wants, a bag that's a dupe of a Chanel. So, that's kind of what I've been doing, is mainly looking for designer bags that I could dupe. That's kind of my thing. And so,
okay.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's a challenge too.
Like it's a
good challenge, I think, for sure.
Yeah. I enjoy it.
It's funny because I came to pattern designing a little bit differently in that, like, you had the thought process, well, if I want this dupe, other people do, of course. So why not? But I was like, well, I'm looking for this kind of crossbody that doesn't exist. So I'm just going to, like, if I have a front panel and a gusset, I've got the rest of the bag essentially. And so, I just made it for myself, for my customers, so that I could make bags to sell that are to my own specifications that I wanted. And then I started sharing it without any intention of writing up a pattern, because I was like, that is more than I know how to do, because I was also in the same boat. I didn't really know what software to use. I didn't really know how to make take the paper pattern pieces I made and translate them digitally. Like, that's a whole learning curve of its own.
Yes.
And then I was convinced by Nikki Kinder, who is still a very good friend of mine and an admin. And it was other people, not just her, but she was to me the loudest voice in the room. And so I just was like, all right, fine, well, then I'll do it, but it's probably only going to be one. But then, I made more from my first pattern in like the first 2 months than I had made from creating custom bags the entire year before. And
oh, wow.
It was right, because I made nothing. Profit-wise. Like, once you start tracking inventory and time, and like, I'm a slow sewist, so I need time. I can only make so many bags a year. And so I wasn't able to sell that much, and I wasn't charging enough for them. So eventually I got to the point where, like, that was going to be my last year doing custom bags, because I was like, I can't afford to make $7,000 in profit in a year.
Yeah.
Who can? Right. Yeah. So I can't do that. And then the pattern, it worked out. And then I had already had a tote pattern that I had been using for my business for like the previous like year and a half, and annoyingly they sold all the time, and so everyone was like, just make a tote. And so then it just continued on from there. I don't think I just said the correct sentences in the correct order. But people wanted the tote, and so then they convinced me to make the tote pattern. And I was like, it's just simple. It's a tote. It's like very easy measurements. I'm using my rulers. One is the ruler, and the other one is I'm folding it in half. Okay, like it's literally like that. But they wanted it, and so and then I just kept going from there. But it was not as natural of a thought process for me as it was for you. I needed a lot of convincing and like nudging to get there. Yeah. And then like I am happy that I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do miss sometimes the just make. Not even custom orders. Like, ain't no way I'm going back to custom orders. Absolutely not. But I kind of miss. I just talked about this with Erica last episode of like, I miss having like the blank canvas, and like the focus of that day is, how am I gonna color that canvas in, but now it's like I'm creating the canvas, which is a different aspect of creativity. But I'm also very driven by creative. I've had this like ongoing thing since I was, I think before I could drink, that it was make something new every day. And so that's been a huge driving force for me in my life. The hard part with pattern making is that it's a way slower progress. So the huge satisfaction when you get done with it, but it's not as fast. And so that's always been a struggle for me. But anyway, that was a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I enjoy listening to your point of view of the bag making,
you.
like how you came about.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I like
it
that.
wasn't, it took some convincing for sure. Still needs convincing. It's fine. So I want to ask about your business name.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
Well, so my daughter was born probably about within the year of the pandemic. I can't remember exactly. She was under a year old.
Okay.
And so, it was my first child, my first and my only child. If you're a mother, when you have your first child, like I was obsessed. She was my world. She was my life. She was everything. And then getting from working, I worked a lot, going from working full time a lot to being at home, and she was there. So it's me and her. So she's just, like we're just in each other's face. So it was just, I'm obsessed with my baby. I don't know how else to put it. But so my daughter's name is Brooklyn, but her middle name is Enola, which is named after my grandmother Enola. But my grandmother's nickname was Lola. She was Grandma Lola. And so my daughter's nickname is Lola. Okay. And so I think what it was is just because at the time that I started my business, I was just so obsessed with Lola. It was just Lola, Lola, Lola. That's all I hear every day. And so naturally, I just immediately was like, I'm always saying, oh, I love you, Lola. Lola, oh, I love you, baby, love you. And it just came out like Love Lola. And I was like, oh, I think that would be a cool name. Like, I don't know. That's just what it was. And
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was named after your daughter. And
yeah, it was after my baby.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're going to add next to your lineup?
Girl, there ain't nothing else to add. I ain't got nothing else.
Yes, there is. I can think of it.
What, friend?
Interfacing and stabilizer.
You know what, Shannon? You know what? It's funny that you say that because I actually wanted to do that. Girl, if you're a supplier, then that ordering is such a process because first of all, they're in China, so their time is opposite. So all of the conversations is happening at night. So I have to be ready to stay up all night if I want to have some really quick back to back to back. Otherwise, I'm leaving a message in the morning. I'm checking the next day. Maybe I'm busy. I don't get on for 2 days. Maybe they don't respond. So everything drags on and on. It's such a process to order. And so anyway, I'm going back and forth with so many different suppliers. I'm getting samples. When you get a sample, it takes a long time to get the sample in. I'm ADHD. I'm very unorganized. I can't remember who the sample is coming from. Some people aren't responding to me. They want measurements. The measurements are different. We are in inches. They're in centimeters. It's like everything keeps dragging on. But I wanted to add interface, and I had exactly because I like the foam. A lot of these I like to do small structured bags. And so I like that really dense, thick foam. And so I do want to carry that. And, I'm going to get back to it. Because
there's some that I would say is not worth you investing in for your business. Like something like whatever Wawak offers, like people are already heavily invested in that. Like, you're going to have a hard time matching their price and their fast shipping and their shipping price. Like, unfortunately, I love Wawak, so I can't complain.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I get my interface from.
But like, I'm still buying Pellon Flex Foam because I don't trust. I don't want self-adhesive foam. Like I don't want that. Like I don't like that. It's not for me. I want to fuse it. But I would love to have foam with different characteristics, And so like if you're trying to go down the foam train,
okay,
I love that. So I'd still tend to use Pellon or Wawak for like all of my designing purposes because I always choose to use stabilizers that are massively available, right? So like a lot of people can purchase that same product that I'm recommending. But I still like to try out, and sometimes I will still use other interfacing and stabilizers from small businesses, but I don't tend to write patterns and design around them because they are a limited source.
Right.
And, I don't ever want to wish this on anyone, but we don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now. But my pattern will still be in existence then. And as much as we may hate most of Pellon's products, that foam is probably still going to be around 5 years from now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a struggle. I get it. But innovation, right?
Yeah.
Testing, trying new products. I love that. So please, and I'm a foam whore, so please.
Thank you for that push. You know, like I said, I love to hear the feedback because I personally don't use foam at all. Never.
Never? You only use Decavo Light?
I only use, well, I really usually use Decavo Heavy.
Okay.
On everything because I want it to be hard and structured.
Okay. So I want to know why you don't use foam.
Because
Is it a fusing issue?
Well, okay. When I have used it, you have to sew it into the seams, right?
No. You can fuse it, and you have to fuse it properly, and then it works just like Decavo Heavy, Decavo Light.
Like with adhesive, I've done that because I didn't want to sew it in the seam, so I went and bought some like adhesive spray, and I sprayed it and attached it.
So Pellon Flex Foam, they have a fusible one, and it's one-sided fusible. You can get two-sided fusible foam as well. You don't want that. I don't like that because you can accidentally fuse your lining wrinkle. Like you can fuse a wrinkle to your lining. But no, the only foam I use is the same one. I've been using it for years. I'm on my third roll now of a 60-inch by 10-yard roll. And it's fusible. And so I'm telling you, do you have a heat press?
I do.
Girl, you have got to try foam.
Does it give the same like structure as
do you have
Decavo
Teflon
Heavy?
sheets?
I do.
Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take a scrap of vinyl, and you're going, well, you have to get the foam first, but you got to get some of this foam. I can send you the product link, and you put it face down. So my heat plate is only on the top of my heat press. The bottom is just a foam pad. So I put my material right side down. Then I put the foam with the just like any other stabilizer you're fusing, right? Then I put the Teflon sheet on top, spritz the hell out of it, press it for about 10 seconds, let it cool down, and then you'll see that it's fused. People don't believe me when I tell them you have to spritz the hell out of it. I promise I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I spritz my when I do all of my stabilizing and stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of science behind it that I love, but you need steam because steam is a way to make heat travel. And so in our situation, you want the steam to travel as fast as possible to that layer of glue at the bottom, melts the glue, spreads it, fuses the fibers of the foam with the fibers of the material. Then you have a nice fuse is what you're going for. Yeah. But the thing is that you have to let it cool. This is like the only one that you have to let cool. Whatever people say about Decavo Light, it's wrong. But it's because it insulates it. The foam insulates the heat. So the glue's still wet. So if you pull it off, then the glue loses its adhesion. Because you're pulling off the fibers with the glue, so it's not going to sit back down on the material correctly.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Anyway, this is me geeking out a little bit, especially about foam.
I love to hear it. I love to know why things. I don't just tell me to do it. Tell me why. And that makes sense. Like you said, the fusing. That's why you can't separate it because they kind of become one at that point.
Right. Yeah. So like when I fuse, I'll show you. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's see.
I am working on a bag right now. Of course, I've walked away, so I'm fully bleached out on the camera. Love that. But if I were to pull this away, right? You can't see it. I'll show you. Maybe, hold on. Sorry. Ugh. I start to pull away. There's a fabric that's on my material, and then there's the foam. I'm separating the foam from its layer of glue. I'm not pulling it off of my bag.
Okay, so you don't have to interface underneath the foam then?
Depends on your material. For me, most of them I don't. Like if it's a material I don't use very often, like this one, then for the first one, it will. If I determine that I need it, then I would do it the next time I use that material. But for the first time, I try without it, see how I like it. If I hate it, then I will just add a layer of woven first. I don't like to if I can avoid it, though. Most of the time, I don't think that I need to.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
I love teaching people about fusing foam.
I can
It's
see
such
it.
a
Like you're like
strange thing, okay?
excited. No, you know what? I'll give it a go. Like I don't know why I don't like foam. I just feel like
It'll
maybe
still
because
give
just
you the structure that you're going for, but it'll make it lighter, and you're going to be like, oh, that feels so good when you give it a little squeeze. I promise.
okay. Maybe just the bags that I saw, I didn't like it with the foam. It just looked when I would see it, I felt like the bags looked very like homey, like homemade. I don't know. I don't like a soft looking, homemade looking bag. Like,
right.
But like, I wouldn't think that from seeing yours. I wouldn't even think that foam was in there.
Right.
So
yeah, no,
yeah, you have convinced me. I have been influenced.
It has drape too, which you lose with something like Decibel Heavy. So you kind of get the same structure of Decibel Heavy,
but it can move a little more.
It's more fluid and it bounces back a little bit and things like that. But you really only get those characteristics with a proper fuse. And so that's why people tend to hate it so much. And when you put it in and you just sew it in the seams, it's not hugging correctly.
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't give me the feel that I get when I use a Decibel Heavy. Yeah,
so
because
it's almost like you have no stabilizer.
So I felt like I always had to interface it, and then it still wasn't. But the fusing, I think that might be what I was missing.
Right? Like the more you know.
The more you know, I'm here. I love learning new things. I do. I enjoy it. So
techniques are my jam, right? I want to learn because I don't want to learn it 10 times. I want to learn it now, use that knowledge, and grow from it next time, not continuously relearn the same knowledge. If you learn the why, you cement it, in my opinion. But
no, agreed, 100%.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about your design process.
Okay.
So you said that you get your inspiration from designer bags, right? Which is perfect too, because all your materials are kind of in that same vibe. So I'm imagining that your inspiration is very continuous throughout your creative process. So, but what does it look like when you finally have your inspiration and you're starting on your bag? Like, how many prototypes do you make? Like, kind of what's your process?
You know, it's it varies depending on the bag. A lot of the times, what I found with a lot of designer bags is that the shapes are really simple. They're simple, they're clean, and it's little details that just makes it stand out. So honestly, the prototype, I don't go through that many prototypes as far as the shapes. Now, the sizing, may need adjusting here and there, but for this one, so I just did this one last week, and I was able to do everything for it in one day. Like I literally just opened up my computer because I felt creative, and I was like, I just want to do it. And it came together very quickly in one day.
And that was your first prototype? This
one, yeah. This is
what... Oh my gosh.
The first one.
My first prototypes never look like that. I just wanted to know.
But I think yours are a little bit more complex. What I'm working with.
That's fair.
This is pretty simple. The pocket, though, I will say, had like 5 prototypes. So I made like 4 pockets and had to trash each one before I got it the way I wanted it to look, and then was able to attach it to the bag. And from there, that's why it was still the first prototype. But the pocket got made 5 times, I believe. But yeah, so usually my design process has changed as I'm learning the software. Usually I would just sketch it out first. My first thing is to sketch it. And now I don't even sketch anymore. I just go straight to my software and start making shapes.
Oh my God, you are not. So you're the 3rd designer now. I can't remember if Jess does it or not, but that make their digital pieces first. And I'm like, no, not for me. Not
what
for me.
What do you do?
I will be on paper pattern pieces until I have perfected them. And so let me grab them.
Yeah, do it.
I don't normally show and tell on the show, but I'm happy to do so. So like I have these 12 by 12 pieces of like cardstock, and they're all different colors. And so for me, it's helpful if I make adjustments, I may use a different color and add it on to a piece. And so I can see where I've adjusted a curve or I've added something or whatever. And then by the end of it, I will then cut it up into like 8.5 by 11 pieces, scan all of them, and then trace all of them in my software, put them all together, and that's how I have my pieces. And then I do minor tweaking from there. But I hate doing that process so much because so I'll make 15, 18 bags with pieces like this. Or I'd say actually probably like 13 bags, 14 bags like this, and then I'll make a couple more with my digital pieces. But I can't.
That is a lot. That's a lot. Don't say you can't. You can't. You know what? Because I used to, when I first started, I would do that. I would sketch it first and use my paper pieces. But then the reason that I stopped it is because I felt like I was almost working twice as hard in a circle, because but you scan your pieces, that's different. I create the pieces. So
I scan them and then I create them using the
scan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. See, okay, so the reason I took out the paper part was because I felt like I was basically just doing the same thing over again.
Yeah.
Because the final verdict, the final product is that it has to be in the software. So I was like, let me skip the paper step and just go straight to software, because that's what I have to do in the end anyway. Yeah. And I do like you, when I make adaptions or have to change it a little bit, I change the color in my software. So I'll print out my first one and use it. And then if I want to make an adjustment, I just, I'll duplicate it. So I have the exact same shape, and then I make the adjustment in a different color. And, so that's how I do it, just so that I don't have to do the paper process, and I have it all in the software if I need to change it or, make a modification. But so essentially it's the same thing, but I just start in the software.
You do it digitally, and I just do it
and
physically.
You do it exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I guess I'm always going to find the lazy way to do anything. So.
I don't think that's lazy. To me, I think it's just, so like Erica and Jenny, we're both saying this, and I appreciate that you guys do that. It's not so much that I don't think that I could do it, because I can do it. I do it later, but I don't like to tweak. Like I need it to be a tangible thing. I also hate cutting out paper pattern pieces. So for me, I can do minor tweaks consistently without having to repiece together the same piece. But I also make a shit ton of changes over the course of my design, because every pattern I do is so different from either any other pattern bag that I've made, or it's just complex in the overall design of it. Like it just tends to need so many prototypes. I think it needs so many prototypes. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that, but anyway. All right, so
whatever works, it's what everybody has their own process of creating things, and there's no right or wrong way. It's whatever works. So please, I didn't mean that as like you should not do that. Like
I didn't take
for
it that
sure.
way.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you make your digital pieces, and then you sew it up. Do you have a specific number of prototypes you like to hit, or do you, are you like other people who we have interviewed, where they're like, just get lucky and like you don't have to make that many, unlike me?
Yeah, no, I usually I don't have to make that many prototypes. Like, so this one, once I have made the whole bag, I have my little my notebook that I do sketch purse ideas in, that I keep notes on, and as I write each note as I'm making it, I then go in at the end of the night or the next day, and I take all of those notes and I make all of the adjustments to my pieces. For example, I had this one made on that one day. The next night I went in and I made all the adjustment on my pieces. And so when I print that out, I expect that's going to be the last prototype, because if I make it exactly the way my notes are, I shouldn't have to adjust anything else. I may have to, but I never go into it like wanting or thinking I should do X amount of prototypes. It's truly as long as I get to the destination that I want, I'm happy. And if it takes 2, that's fine. But if I'm not happy at 2, if it takes 6, if it takes 10, I'm going to keep going until it's going to be where I'm at. So I'm probably going to make the second one, and I'm going to find something that I think needs to be adjusted. So it's probably going to take a third one, but it probably won't take more than 3.
Good for you. I love to hear that. I wish I could do that. I love that. But like, so do your linings tend to be essentially the same pattern pieces as your exterior?
Some of them, they have been, I guess I would say not necessarily.
Okay.
Because I've had some where it was absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like
All
I
of
try to
mine are
make my
that way.
I try to make my lining be simple. If I can make it with 2 pieces, then I will.
Okay.
But like for this one, I have to do it the same as the outside just
Yeah.
because of the way that it is
It's
structured, because there is
yeah.
exterior on the, on the gusset, and also I'm going to be using exterior on the top, because
Yeah.
like little things I don't do the first time. Like I know there's going to be exterior at the top.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that in the first prototype.
So I
But
do. Like I do all of that. I do all of it the whole time. I
I
work
love that for
hard for no
you.
reason. I love that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like all of my patterns, I like the lining facing. Like to me, like, oh, it makes me cringe a little bit. And this is just a personal preference. Everyone is listening. It's a personal preference. But I don't like it when I can see the lining on the outside. Like at the top of your bag.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I like to have that that facing of the exterior at the top of the. I don't know if that's the correct term. I'm assuming it is. I always call it the upper lining, but always. And I also try to offset my seams. So like, what could be 3 seams on the outside, side, or like if it's a gusset on the outside, it's not on the inside, and like that is not as easy to design while you're also contouring it to fit as a snug lining. Like it's
I know exactly what you're saying. My I think it's the Knot Today. I designed it that way so that my lining would be on the side, and then the exterior has a side piece, because like you said, it is better for the or it's easier, to not have all of those seams matching up. So
yes,
I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
It is more work though. It is more
work. It is more work.
Yes.
But I feel like if there's anybody that can do it, it's you.
Thank you.
You got it. Yeah, no.
It is. I always hate the process. I can't say I hate the process. Hate is a strong word. It's like I just expect too much of myself, and I actively know that I'm doing it while actively not caring that I'm doing that to myself, and like I still do it. Okay, back to you. So you have so you make your prototypes, and then I learned this about Erica, which was like Erica from Lavender and Twine, which blew my mind. So she sits down to. So when I go to type up my instructions, I have sewn it so many times, right, that I genuinely closing my eyeballs and typing my process out for the whole 80 pages or however long the pattern is. And Erica, though, she does the whole bag and photographs it as she does it, and then writes the instructions to match her photos. So what do you do?
What I do is, as I'm making the bag, I keep my phone next to me. And when I do a step, I say it into my phone, place this right side touching. And then I do the next step and I say, now lay this on the table, blah, blah, blah. So I read it into my phone, dictate it into my phone as I'm making it, so that I am writing it exactly how I would make it. And then once I finish, I then go in and put it all together into my my software that I use to publish it. That's how I do it. I have to do it step by step, because if I don't, I feel like I will not do it in the way that I would do it in real life. Right. So I have to make myself do it in real life and dictate it as I do it to make sure. And then I go and I take that and write it up in my software and use that to take my photos, because I want the order that I do it in my pictures to reflect it. So basically kind of opposite of what she does, but it's the same thing, I guess. She uses pictures to make the words, and I use the words to make the pictures.
I'm the same way. And I don't think that there's a right or wrong way, but for me, I don't trust myself. So like if I know, okay, if I'm just making a bag, I will not stop to take pictures for every step. I will forget some. Yeah. And that is the worst case scenario for that situation, is to have to go back and remake a bag because you were just in the zone and you forgot. So for me, it's important to have every step that I want photographed laid out so that I can do it correctly as I've stated it. And like I said, there's no right or wrong way. I just can't trust myself.
Yeah, no, agree. Because I have done that. I have once I started, I was caught myself taking pictures, but once I started making it, when I went back to look, I didn't have a picture for these steps. So that's when I was like, okay, this is not going to work for me, because now you have to
Right.
make a whole nother bag from scratch just for pictures.
Exactly. To make it
So
match.
yeah, to make it match. So what I do is every time I write down an instruction, that's my cue to take a picture,
Yes.
because I want a picture to go with each step. So that way there's no way I can miss a picture. And so that's what helps me to keep everything together.
Right. So when I'm typing out my instructions, I'm thinking about I pretty much do a photo for every step. Like if it's like clip this together, there's a photo. And then sew that seam, there's a photo. It's ridiculous. We love it. People love it. It's a lot. It's like 300 to 400 photos a pattern. But
oh, wow.
It's a lot. But I also, it helps me to write every step. And then like sometimes I know that it's a little bit more complicated because I have made it a bajillion times. So I'm like, I know that I want to show this from 2 angles. So I will create picture frames in my document so that while I'm following my instructions, I know I need 2 angles. I told myself I'd need 2 angles of this step. And so I'll take 2 photos of it. I swear, the more this show goes on, the more I'm learning how complicated I make it for myself. Oh my gosh. But I've already established it this way, so I'm
it's routine now. It's all you know. Like
I can't change it.
You know what? One day you should just go in, not like really working on a pattern, because if you're really working on it, then you got to stay to your routine. But just go in when they're like, let me just fuck around and see, what if I did this way? And let me just get on my computer and start playing
and find out. People will be like, pattern. Pattern, Shannon. Tomorrow, please. Thank you. I'm telling you. I did that in November. I did that. Oh, and then people, it was a basic kind of tote. It looked nice, but like it wasn't anywhere what this is turning into. And yeah, and I fucked around and found out. And so I was like, I guess I'm making a big tote now. I guess I'm doing that. It wasn't my plan. I was supposed to make a fanny pack.
That's funny.
Anyway.
It evolved.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So then you got everything done. You got your document done. You get it to your testing team. Do you have a big testing team or a small testing team?
My testing team is pretty big, but that's only because, a lot of times when you call for testing, half of them won't even be available. Yeah. And I get it. We're all busy. We all have things going on. So my group where I pull from my test team is pretty big. I think I have like over 60 people at this point.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah. But when I actually do the testing, I usually have between 20 and 30 people that show up. And then between that, what you're going to get 15 to 20 people that actually do it. So I do have a big pool of testers to pull from, but that doesn't mean they're all going to be participating.
Right. But that's a good chunk, to have. I am a proponent of having a good amount of eyes on your work because so many people come from different backgrounds of sewing and they have different machines, different preferences, different knowledges of what they're doing and approaches to things. And I think that it's really important to have a nice amount of people because it just diversifies your feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how long do they test for?
I usually try to do 3 weeks. Between 3 and 4, because I like to have a little bit in between from when the testing ends to when I actually put it out. So the entire test period is usually about 4 weeks.
Everyone is so much nicer than I am so far in the show. I don't give people that long. I give them no more than 2 weeks. And they have to make 2 bags. They have to make 2 bags.
Shannon,
they all wait till the last minute anyway.
I would say, girl, we just talked about how long it takes us to make our friends bag, but you're like, 2 weeks and make 2 of them.
Because it makes them do it. It makes them do it in my time frame. If I give them 3 weeks, they're still sewing it in the last 2 weeks or the last week. They have 2 weeks, they'll still use the last week only to do it. I try to give them 2 weekends. That way you can say that I was fair in that way.
Yeah.
But for me, it's important because the first bag is learning and the second one, you're catching things you didn't catch while you were in the process of learning.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I also paid them. So
okay.
It's a little bit different. And they can't jump in and not get paid, and they have to agree to the terms and expectations before they're allowed to test. Like, I am a hard ass when it comes to testing. But I've learned that I had to be. Like, I've had so many bad experiences with bad testers in the past that I have just learned, like, I have to lay down the law in this one aspect of my business, and that's that.
Yeah,
Truly.
no, that's good though. That's good. You have to, as long as you let them know what those expectations are ahead of time, which you do, obviously. Obviously, it works. So,
well, I mean, hopefully, but I still sometimes I'm like, guys, it's the last 2 days of testing. Where are your bags? Most of them.
Yeah, they're
are
always. It's always going to be the majority of them coming in the last few days.
Right.
For sure. And I can't even talk too much shit because when I used to test, I was one of those people that was coming in the last few days.
I know how we are. So, like, it's part of my calculation. Okay. I am prepared to accommodate our procrastinating. Okay. So that's why you have 2 weeks, not one. I have had, I think, a test where I gave them 10 days and it was 2 bags.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're mean.
But they still wait. But they still wait to the last minute. Okay.
They're always going to wait. It is what it is. Yeah. I do love that you pay them, though. That's pretty cool. I don't pay my testers. I do offer them whenever they test. Once they join my test group for that bag, I do give them a 20% discount for my website to be used on whatever they want, the entire order. So, because I do feel like we have to compensate them some way, like they're doing.
Yeah. I don't know why
they deserve it.
The community and the it's the norm for sewing that, patterns are just completely uncompensated, or pattern testing is completely uncompensated for so many businesses. My husband was like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Why are no form of compensation? None. Yeah. And that's the expectation that
it's the norm.
When I started, and I was like, I think it was with the Mayfield, I want to say. So that would have been my 3rd pattern. And that's when I started paying people. And because my husband was like, this is so weird. But also, when you pay them, and when you give them some form of compensation, there's incentive on their end.
Yeah.
When there's no compensation, there's no incentive for the most part. And so for me, I'm all about efficiency. So it's an investment for me. I love my test team. That's why I have them. But I also understand that they're never going to give as much of a shit as I do about my product. And so I need to make them give a shit about something more than just the task. And if I'm asking them to do 2 bags in 2 weeks, like, they need to be compensated.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't have a shop where they can just shop for products and material supplies and things like that. So I would probably do that if that was my option. I don't have that. But that's totally fair. So promo time. Do you do a release discount?
Do I do what?
A release discount?
No, I don't. I've never have done that. And I think that's simply because I'm very bad at organizing things. Like, I would have to put together a code. I would have to decide how long the discount is for. Like, so I just don't know. It's like, this is my pattern and you want it or you don't. And
I love that for you.
Yeah, that's just what it is. And I don't price my patterns high. It's not expensive. So I'm like, I'm giving you a good price. Take it or don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I've said this before on the show, but like, discounts, like, they feel like kind of a necessary thing, at least occasionally. But every time I do it, it's like, man, I still value it at the price that I priced it at. Like, to me, it's like, I still think it's worth that money, but that's just not the way that some people purchase, So I've just kind of sold my soul a little bit for that. But
But what's crazy is I don't even feel like, I think some people just like to see a discount, because if you actually raise the price by $2 and then but it's a discount at 20% off, they would be like, oh, it's on discount, even though it would be the same price. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for these games.
There are some people that will price their patterns really high and then offer 40 or 50% off discounts. And it's like, get yours, do your thing, like, to each their own. I'm never buying one of your patterns, That's mean. But it's, at the same time, it's like, I think that's a very predatory kind of sales tactic, and I don't do that. That's not for me.
Yeah, I just don't have time. Like, just
Yeah.
It's take it or don't.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know.
That's totally fair. And there are so many people that I'm learning through this show that don't offer release discounts. And I'm like, I thought that was the expectation. So I do that. Now, of course, I can't not do it because that's
because
the
you've started
norm.
doing it and now they expect it.
Oh, yeah, I did it every time. So it's fine. It's okay. Mine are priced high. So I get it. People are excited. But nowadays, especially with the economy and everything, people are thinking so much more about every pattern purchase, not to mention all of the extra people selling patterns now and the market saturation and all that stuff. There's a lot more for them to pick and choose from than versus when we first started sewing. Even like a couple years before you, there was just so few options out there as far as designers go compared to now. So I don't want to say that discounts are kind of an inevitable thing, but maybe they are, especially with the way the economy is, for sure.
No, you're right. And I do offer, I don't want to say that I don't ever offer discounts because I actually do it a lot. I'll just randomly just be like, hey,
but
guys.
Not for release.
Yeah, but just not for releases. And when I do it for everything. This is for products, tangible products and patterns. Like, just go take 15% off of everything on my website. Like, I will do that.
That's good.
It's just I don't have the energy. Releases are so stressful. Like, I can't add one more thing like a discount code. Like, no, like just take this pattern and go back to it.
I already did all the work. I'm not doing anything else. Okay?
I'm not doing anything else. Like, and it's nothing personal, but it's just like I'm not making another discount code and figuring out how long. I'm just gonna price it. I'm gonna price it really low. I feel like my prices are really low. So just
If you feel like they're really low, you should raise them.
I know, but I know people. Girl, I hear a lot of people tell me everything about raising everything, products. Don't give discounts. I just can't help myself because I don't know. Money is tight these days. So I just feel like I'm in a position where I'm okay to do it. I'm blessed to be in a position where I can do it. So
I respect that.
Just like, if I could do it for free, I would do it for free. Like, I really just would love to share it. But unfortunately, that's just not life. I get in there.
No, it's funny because I think that I so much enjoy everything until it comes to the selling process. Like, I love making it. I love creating it. I love presenting it. I love sharing it. I don't love selling it because I feel like then, like, okay, well, now I'm waiting for you to be unhappy about your purchase versus before I'm excited for you to make your purchase,
Exactly.
Is a switch. And so I feel like my brain focuses on that negative then as soon as we have made a transaction. And so I don't know. I totally
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah. So imagine if you could just take money out of it. Like, it would be so freeing. You know what I mean? And so that's where I guess when I say I try to price things as low as I can, it's the thought of almost like if it was free, I would love to price it for free, but I can't. So I'm going to give you the cheapest that I could possibly give it to you.
That's fair. That's
fair. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
It's always tough. It's always hard to price your own products, and
because you want to value yourself. You do want to give yourself. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. You want to make sure that you're not devaluing yourself at the same time. I don't know.
Or setting a precedent, like all kinds of stuff like that. There's so much to consider.
That's true too.
Tough. It is tough. I get it. Okay, so release the pattern. What's release day look like? A mess? Are you
chaotic?
For me, it's like my stomach hurts. I'm sweating all the time.
Something always goes wrong. The more I do it, the more that I'm giving myself more grace and more, I guess just more time. I don't know. I feel like I always think that I can do something, but when it comes to it, I can't do it. So I'm learning to, whatever I expect from myself in the time frame, to double it.
Same. Like, I have had the exact same situation. Like, I don't know how long anything takes me. I have no idea. I would like to think that I do. No idea.
I don't know. And that's kind of how I have started to approach my release days. I cannot give you an exact time. I never have an exact time. Like some people, I love when I see these organized designers and they're like, it goes live at 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my God, bless you. Like, how do you do that? I can't do it. It's gonna go live when it goes live because I always have a hiccup with uploading my tutorials to YouTube. Like it can take anywhere from an hour and sometimes it has taken me 2 days. Like I don't know why, I just won't upload. So it's always so stressful for me getting down to the wire. I usually have to change my release days. This last one I changed it. I had to push it back 3 days, I think, because my video wouldn't even upload. It was taking me like, I'm not exaggerating when I say like I would break my tutorial into like 4 pieces, and my tutorial is only an hour long. I had to break it into 4 20-minute pieces and export them separately because they were taking like 6-7 hours to export like half at a time. Yeah, like it's insane. So I try now to not even give myself an exact release date until I have made it past all of my uploading. And then I'll be like, okay, my pattern releases tomorrow. Just out of the blue, like that works for me. I just I cannot, and I used to stress out about it, but now I'm like, nobody's life is changing if if I announce that I'm releasing it on Saturday and release it on Sunday, like they may make a smart comment now, but next week, 2 weeks from now, they're not going to be thinking about that.
No,
so
I
it's
wish.
like,
I love that you have gotten there. I am
yeah,
so
that's where I'm
jealous
at
of
now because I used to stress so much. Like I would like make myself physically sick. And now I just tell myself, Ravon, all of the feelings that you're feeling right now and even these comments that they're making, 2 weeks from now, they're not going to be thinking about you and your stupid pattern.
No.
Like they have moved on to somebody else to harass.
Right.
So now I'm just like, this is my life. I'm sporadic. You're going to get it when you get it. That's who I am. And you can love it or you can hate it, but it's not going to change it.
Right.
So yeah. So now I'm learning my release dates aren't as stressful as they used to be because I'm more forgiving with myself about time. Because I'm just horrible with time. It's just what I am.
So am I. I always tend to, I won't know when I bring my testers in, I'll have a tentative release date of like, if everything goes right during testing, I should be okay to release it by then. But then I won't announce that because if something goes wrong during testing, then I need to push it back. And so I am terrified of the people like huffing and puffing because I changed a date. And so, but sometimes you can't help it. It's unavoidable. Sometimes
you can't help it.
Yeah,
you can't help it. And you know what? These people that are doing that, sometimes I want to tell them like, you have no idea what I am doing behind the scenes and how hard I am working. And for you to make a comment, like, I just want to be like, you have no idea. Because if you did, you wouldn't be making these little remarks and stuff. So that's what I had to tell myself. Like, I can't take it to heart because they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. They don't know.
Yeah, it's an uninformed opinion.
Yeah. So it's like I have to just whatever.
No,
that's what I'm learning is to just not let everything slide.
There was a quote that I lived by, or I don't live by it. I want to live by it.
Okay.
But it's the less you give a fuck, the happier you'll be. I want that to be the way that I live my life. So the reality of my life is that my daily life quote is, when in doubt, stress it out. It's so far from what I want it to be.
Oh my God. That's so funny because that's exactly what happens. When in doubt, stress it out.
Yeah. It's so like, but you're getting to the place of the less you give a fuck, the happier you'll be. And like, I want to get there so bad.
You have to get there. You have to meet me there. It's the final destination.
Exactly.
Because
then I'll quit.
It had gotten so bad because I was having, my blood pressure was up to here. Like I had to get on blood pressure medication at the peak of this time when my work, adding my business and just the feedback from people when they're like, oh, when is the release? I would get so worked up and stressed about it. Like sometimes I would be literally like reading the comments and I could feel my heart beating. Like, I felt like I'm having an anxiety attack. Like I was physically getting ill. Yeah. And I had to, and my partner, Dave, he would see me like this. And, sometimes I would be crying. Like it was too much. And he was like, Ravon, you can't let people affect you in this way. He's like, it's your business. He's like, you control it. He said, it's yours. You control the narrative. And then my friends, same thing when I would talk to some of my closest friends, they're like, Ravon, you control the narrative. Like, why are you letting why are you letting people affect you? And I was like, wow, they're right. All of this stressing I'm doing and running in these time frames that I'm putting myself in that I can't reach, these impossible deadlines. I'm doing that to myself because I'm in charge.
Right.
So it was like I had to learn to shut other people out and concentrate on myself and my business and making it work for me. And some of it was like I got off of social media a lot. Like I would go on when I would have to, but then that was it. I kind of disconnected. That's what I had to do, and I hate that. I felt like I lost. I had built in the beginning. I had built a really like friendships with people. Like I felt like these were my people. Like for real. Like we were talking and chatting all the time, and I hate that I lost some of that when my business came, but I had to step away because it was becoming stressful.
It's too much.
It was too much. It was too much. So now I'm not all the way, not giving a fuck, but I am definitely actively
trying
working to get there.
I love that.
That's the goal.
I think for me,
when you say not give a fuck, it's not like you don't care. You still care. It's just you have to regulate.
Just give it a little less.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like the less you give a fuck, the happier you'll be. You don't have to give none.
Yeah. Don't give none. Give a little bit.
Yeah. It's for me, like I have a hard time because it's all self-imposed. It's not my customers that are like, Shannon, how dare you change the release date? It's me saying, how dare you let your customers down?
Yes.
Like, it's so internal that it is a very different, that's a hard thing to control, I think. Like, it's hard to stop that. That's what therapy's for. We're in it. Okay. We're doing it. But, it's a process. And so it's kind of taking that internal voice saying, hey, how dare you, that was a failure. We're going to just put in our little book right there and we'll just tuck that away. And just changing the narrative internally. That's my struggle, because I'm pretty like, I put my feet down and when it comes to my business, like I don't let customers kind of control it in that way. But I need to convince myself to care a little less about every single little detail and put the pressure on every single one, because my anxiety is the same way as yours. It's very physical. I know that I'm leading up to an anxiety attack when I have chest pain. I know like when I'm in a bad social situation that I'm not comfortable with, I'll have chest pain and be sweating profusely and my hands are fidgeting. Like I have social anxiety, so that's why I have to fidget every episode, because as much as I may seem comfortable, I am a little uncomfortable every single time. And so my fidgeting is my tell. So I have to do something with my hands. So I totally get it. And I want to get there so bad. And I think that I will with time and more therapy, but oh my gosh, is it a struggle?
Yeah, you'll get there though, because you're actively working on it. You know what I mean? It's not going to just happen naturally. You're putting in the effort and stuff. So I think that you will get there.
I hope so.
For sure.
I can't say it's for lack of trying. So there's that. Okay. All right. So I wanted to ask this too. So you sew on your cylinder arm exclusively?
Yeah, that's the only sewing machine that I own.
Do you miss having a flatbed or a domestic, or did you go straight from domestic to cylinder?
I went straight from domestic to cylinder. I had my little, refurbished machine for the first 2 years. And then I moved up to a better machine. I'm horrible with names and stuff, so I don't remember what it was. But it was the only other machine I had between my refurbished and my cylinder right now. And it was just it still was also a regular domestic machine. It was just better than the first one that I had gotten.
Yeah.
And then I went straight from that to cylinder, and that's it.
Yeah, I have my cylinder too, but I tried to do the only cylinder arm life, and I just couldn't. I had to get, I had it for maybe 6 months only. I had my domestic and my cylinder for just 6 months. And then I was like, and I sold my 1541. I traded it in. to get my 1341. Both of them are from this Juki sales guy I love here.
Okay.
Shout out to Jim from IMSCO, San Antonio, who will never know that this podcast exists because he's like a very old Texan in the middle of San Antonio who has been working on Jukis for 30 years. Love that.
Oh, wow.
He's fantastic. Anyway, so I went back to him and I was like, he's like, I don't have your old machine. I was like, I know. Like, he'll sell me a new one, but I don't want that. So I just got the middle ground, which is the 1181 to have as well. So what do you ever miss having or do you ever use your domestic as well?
No, because when I got this one, I think I threw the other one away, or it's in my attic. Yeah, it was giving me problems like the needle. I don't know, girl.
It was problematic. It's fine.
Yeah, it was doing something I didn't like one day, and I was just like, you know what? I got a new one anyway. So I just I got the cylinder and I never turned back. That's the only thing I've used since I purchased it.
I use all three of my machines for every bag.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have no answers.
Whatever works. I didn't mean that.
No. I'm laughing at myself because I recognize.
But the materials that I use, it's fine because everything's heavy. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't sew cotton or anything on it. It doesn't
yeah.
I mean, I could if I would change the needle, because that machine
change a needle, you gotta change your tension.
The thread, I'm not doing it. So
yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah. So the materials that I use, I can do everything from start to finish on that. So I'm okay with that. I do want to get another machine. I don't know if it would be a domestic because I want to start sewing clothing. I'm really into clothing these days. I've made a few items for my daughter, but I use vinyl. I made her a cute zip up skirt, but I used it with vinyl. I made her a matching purse and it was so cute. And I was like, oh my God, I can make myself some shorts or something. So, but I do want to get into sewing clothing. So I am going to start using cotton and stuff. So I do need to get a machine. I don't know if I would need a domestic or I'll have to research it. I know I need a serger.
Just get a serger. You probably don't need a domestic for most things unless you plan to insert zippers, I would say. So when I first started sewing, for real sewing, I started out doing pillows just like you. I was like, ain't no way I'm paying that price for 2 squares of fabric thrown together. Thank you. And then I fell down the hole. And then I learned about custom fabrics from a friend of mine who then I started making my own clothes. It was for a year and a half. I didn't buy any clothes. I was just fully
Are you serious?
handmade. It was great. I loved it. That was in the midst of what was the legging brand that got really popular a couple years before the pandemic. They had the really soft, buttery soft leggings. I don't remember what it was. Everyone's going to yell at us in the comments for
Fabletics?
No, it was like a MLM company. But anyway, they made popular double brushed poly. And so at that time, it was the height. And so this would have been 2017, 2018. It was the height of it. And it was, I just made leggings and shirts and underwear and cardigans, hoodies, all that stuff. I made all of my own clothes for a few years.
What?
It was a lot of fun. And I essentially...
Do you still sew clothing?
No, because once I started making bags, I was like, that's it for me. But clothing is so much more satisfying because it's so much faster. Right?
Okay.
So you're not interfacing, if you're doing some pressing, you're not installing hardware for the most part,
Yeah.
The hard part is getting it to fit for your body, but you can do it eventually. So it really is, it's a fun rabbit hole to dive down. And, I would make my son hoodies all the time. And it's a lot of fun.
So you're saying maybe I could just do a serger, I wouldn't even need another sewing machine?
I would say I would get a serger and then just get a cheap domestic because the only time you're really going to need to do anything is just get one that can sew buttonholes if you need to do that. And then if you ever need to sew on a zipper. I never sewed on a zipper on any of my clothes. So I didn't really need to. Everything was stretch or if I ever needed a button, that was easy to do.
Yeah.
So I would say start with a cover stitch, and you can do so many patterns with just a serger. Start with a serger, not a cover stitch. Cover stitch is great, but you don't need it right away. But if you end up making, let's say, 10 garments, invest in your cover stitch. That's another $250. I don't know how much it costs now. I'm assuming it's that much. But that's like your official top stitching machine. But it's made for stretchy materials. Yeah.
Okay, girl. Oh, let's sew my clothes. I'm excited. I'm texting you like, okay, you said it was easy. This shit isn't easy.
Why do I have a wrinkle here? What is this pucker for? No. Yeah. No, I loved it. I tried to start selling clothes. That was actually the start of my business, where I was like doing bags, and then I still love sewing clothes, but I was like, I was so stressed about like selling baby clothes or women's clothes, because like, what if what I call the large, because this pattern called it a large, is not a large to you, and then you're mad because you get it home, like, you know.
Yeah. The sizing seems like it would be hard to figure that out, but
it's nice. I still have a pair of leggings, one of the first pair of black. Like, it's the only pair of my handmade leggings I have left that I still wear regularly, because some of them they wore down with time or whatever. But this pair, still going strong, still my favorite pair of black leggings. They have donuts on the lining of the waistband. Like, love it.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to get into it. I'm excited.
It's a lot of fun. Okay. And so I wanted to ask you this question. And so I asked Nova this question, and I did, just for listeners, know that I did give, Ravon didn't know about any of my questions or kind of anything about where the episode was going. But I did want to give her a heads up on this, only because I feel like it's important to do so. I don't ever want to just like come at somebody in any way, shape, or form. So she gave me permission. But during Nova's episode, she talked about being a person of color in our sewing community, and kind of what her experiences were like, and kind of how she has made adjustments to her own, I don't want to say personality, but just kind of how she interacts and things like that. And so I kind of gave her the floor, because I think that that's important to do, especially because our demographic in our sewing community is a majority white female between the ages of 30 and 60. We all know it. Nobody likes to admit it, but that's the fact of it. And so being a person of color who is very active in the community, very willing to interact and engage, like, you know, what's your perspective like of the community? What would you like to see more, and all things like that?
You know, actually, I do think that the sewing community is pretty inclusive. In the beginning, there were times that I may have felt like an outsider. I think I touched on this a little bit earlier. And sometimes it's hard for me to know if I'm feeling like an outsider because of my color, or if it's just because they don't know me. Right. And so that has been a part of me getting to know the people in the community on a one-on-one basis, because when I was learning and meeting everyone, I did feel like everyone knew each other. And so a lot of times there would be collaborations going on, or, you know, this and that. And I felt like I was never included in it. And I was like, man, like, I feel like I wasn't sure if it was because I was just new, because they were reaching out to me for individual things. You know, we would talk one-on-one. I'm active in the groups, they're active in my groups. But when it came to like collaborations and stuff, I felt like I was never included. And so there are times that I wonder if it's because of my race or not. But as far as one-on-one interactions, I've never felt like anyone has treated me away because I am a person of color. But I do feel like I did feel like I needed a space to create a space where the representation of it was someone of color, because I do feel like representation is very important.
Yes. And
it even comes into play with little things that I do, like when I do some designs, like if there's a person or something on a print. When you're in the Black community, it's hard for us, if we're looking for a character, a lot of times to find a Black character. It's just, it's not always represented. So I do make a point, if I do have any kind of product that's going to have a person or a character, I make sure that I include a person of color, different ethnicities, just to have that inclusion. So I I love that I can represent that for me and people that look like me. So, but it's always the thought in the background. For example, I'm not going to say any names, of course, but I've had people will send me emails like, "Oh, am I going to be able to get my product because I saw online that this happened to your store?" And it'd be something that I know happened, but because it's a small community and blah blah. But it'd just be another Black designer, and they just saw a Black person and they thought it was me.
Oh.
Because we're people of color. I've had someone I've worked with at an event that would kept calling me another person's name who was the only other Black person there. And I was like, and finally I said, "Hey," I said, "that's not my name, that's the other Black girl." Because I'm going to be very straightforward. I'm very blunt. I'm never going to be mean. I'm never trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but I am blunt. But it's little things like that I think that people of color deal with that other people would never understand where we're coming from because that's never even been a thing for them. And so there's always that in the back of my mind. Like if I'm getting some kind of traction from someone or a comment, I'm like, is it because of this that's bothering them, or is it because of something else? So I'm always catching and watching myself and how I respond to things because I want to make sure that I'm not taking things the wrong way. But I do feel if I feel like there is a way that I'm being treated or looked at, I don't know for sure if it's me or if it's someone else. But for the most part, everyone that I've talked to on a one-on-one basis is just, I don't feel like my ethnicity is anything to do with anything. Like everyone's been pretty great for the most part.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So, but I do think that I'm not, they're not used to seeing people of color in positions in sewing when it comes to designing and stuff like that. So I'm just happy that I can be a part of that. And I always try to reach out to other people of color in bag making to include them because I'm like, are they like me? Are they not being included in the collaborations? And a lot of times they aren't, so I try to make a point to reach out to them, connect with them, just to have that unity I just want to have that.
You want to facilitate the inclusivity that you see not happening. I got you.
You're so much better with words than I am. Thank you.
I probably used the wrong words in that, but we're just moving on.
No, that sounded good to me. I love it. And I even love the fact that you asked me this question, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's great that you even care to ask people of color questions like that to get the way that we feel about it. Like, not everybody would do that, so kudos to you for making us feel like we can be heard.
Thank you. I think that it's important. Like I can't speak for you and I don't want to put my foot in my mouth trying to do so. Right. But like, I am all about like that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say like I'm the most activist person out there, but I give a shit. I care. And when I can, I do. Right. And I'm not saying I get it all right all the time.
None of us do. Nobody does.
Right. But I do try. And so, and
that's what matters.
Thank you. I'm glad that you were receptive to that. And I don't ever want to like, I don't want to ignore it, but I also don't want it to make it be like, oh, this is all we're going to talk about or whatever, but it's not something that I think needs to get shoved under the rug. I think that it's the only way in which we grow. There are some people that look back on kind of what they would call maybe the turmoil of the sewing community back in 2020 when a lot of people said a lot of dumb shit. And I'm like, I look back on that as opportunities for a lot of people to grow. And opportunities to pick and choose who you want to engage with as a customer, as a part of the community. Like you got to see a lot of true colors, and so much of that also enabled growth. And I think it's important. These things happen in every community. No one, it happens, and you should acknowledge it, not brush it under the rug for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what do you have planned for the rest of 2026? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything coming up?
Yes. I have 2 actually in-person sewing classes coming up this year
Okay.
that I am super excited about it. I don't, my phone was next to me. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to be teaching classes at Sewcation,
Okay.
and that is by Sew Bestie.
Okay.
And this will actually be my 3rd year teaching classes at that. It's in Vegas, and
Okay.
I love Vegas and I love to gamble. So I'm always super excited about Sewcations.
That's awesome. So I have family that lives in Vegas, and
You do? You said you do?
I do. And so I
that's
go
right,
there
you
at least
mentioned.
once a year.
Oh
But
my gosh, you should try to come this month.
is it this month?
No, I mean the month that it is. I'm trying to find it in my notes.
Yeah.
I remember I went out of my way earlier to say that I was going to have it ready, and I don't have it ready. Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's going to be July 8th through the 11th in Vegas. That's the Sewcation Sin City. And I am going to be teaching this class. This is my lily tote pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll be teaching
I love that design.
this. Thank you. And I'll also be teaching another one. I don't have that one with me. So it's going to be 2 classes there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Classes.
And then
that's so much.
Huh?
That's 2 classes. That's so much. Like I'm overwhelmed for you. It's fine.
Shannon, you are so funny. And then later in the year, I'm going to be teaching at the Sac Bag and Sew Expo. So this will be my 2nd year teaching at that.
Okay.
This one's going to be in Sacramento. So I'm excited about that because California is just such a vibe, you know? And that's going to be August the 21st through the 24th. And I'm actually going to be teaching the same 2 classes, but then I'm also going to be teaching a belt class. I like to make belts. When I used to do a lot of custom bags, my customers would love the option to have a matching belt. So I'm going to be teaching how to make a belt. That class, and also I think I'm going to be doing a hardware class because a lot of the hardware that I sell is like not your norm hardware, and so people are always asking me for tutorials on how to do it, you know, because they're just different. So I'm going to have a class where I'm going to be just bringing different pieces of hardware that you would normally use and showing how to install it. So just like kind of a learning class.
People are always asking about that.
Yeah. So I was like, that'd be fun. And then I'll just give out a few pieces as well at the end of class. So
that's awesome.
I'm excited about that too. Yeah.
So how big are the class sizes at both of those events?
So the Sew Bestie classes have 20.
Okay.
And then the Sac Bag and Sew can go up to 40 people depending on the class because there's different classrooms.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the bigger classrooms can fit up to 40 people, and the smaller ones usually, I think, cap at about 20.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I have learned that I am best at open sews.
You
know I stress too much, okay? But no, open sews are my vibe for sure. Like just pick my brain constantly, please. That's what I would love for you to do. That's what they love to do. We all hang out. We love that. But I love that. So many people love going to these classes. You know, you get the opportunity to speak right to the designer while you're learning the bag. It really is a great opportunity. So if anyone has the chance, please go. It's now time for the final press pass, which is where listeners submit questions. And so the first question for you comes from Jessica, and she asks, what is your favorite pattern and medium to work with?
Oh my gosh, my favorite pattern. I'm going to have to go old school and say it would be the Mabel by Swoon.
Okay.
And that's only because I have such when I think about it, just the feels that it gives me, because it was one of my biggest sellers. Like I must have sold like 100 of the Mabels. All of my customers wanted a Mabel. And that also got me connected to, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ultra Fabric. It's a company. It's a really big company. They do a lot of luxurious work, like for luxury, like designer vehicles, like luxury vehicles,
like upholstery.
Yeah, like upholstery type things for hotels, like very expensive hotels. They'll do the walls, they'll do the furniture, whatever. So when I was doing these Mabels and stuff, I did a video on their fabric. I love vinyl would be the medium that I like to use. And I like it when it's got a little bit of a weight to it, about 1 millimeter. That's what I like to work with. And I like it when it's soft, like not the stiff vinyl. Like this is more kind of the stiff. I like it when, you
it's
know what I mean?
pliable.
Like
It
this,
has
like the
drape to it.
pliable, you can drape and all of that. So I found Ultra Fabrics at a local fabric store. I found that and I fell in love. I started researching it. I was trying to get samples from the fabric store. I reached out to the company. I was doing reviews. I found some of the material online and I did a review about it on my YouTube channel, and I hashtagged it, and they reached out to me, and they sent me like, oh my God, they must have sent me, I'm not even joking when I say this, they must have sent me about $40,000 worth of Ultra Fabric, like rolls and rolls. Like I had to put it in my attic. Dave was like, Ravon, you've got to get this fabric out of my house. And I started selling that. Actually, that's how I kind of jumped off. Before I started selling my own vinyl from my supplier, I started selling just Ultra Fabric because they reached out to me. They had me go out to New York and make bags for some fashion shows that they did and these exhibits. I went to their headquarters and got to walk around and touch all the fabrics and talk about how they created it. Like it was just such a vibe for me. And they ordered a whole bunch of Mabels to be used. So the Mabel and that texture just have like a special place in my heart. So I would say that was like the most fun pattern because it just brought me a lot of recognition at the time. And that Ultra Fabric is what made me want to start sourcing my own fabric because I was having a hard time finding fabric that was textured and draped the way that Ultra Fabric did. And Ultra Fabric was pretty expensive. Actually, you can't buy it straight from them. You have to buy it from a website, like a third party. So it was hard. It was hard finding it, you know, until they gave it to me. So that was fine. But after that, that's what made me be like, you know what if I can find my own material vinyl similar to this? And that's what got me into sourcing material. So anyway, my medium would be a heavyweight vinyl, and the Mabel would probably be my most fun favorite pattern.
So how are you going to drop all of that information towards the end of the episode about how you got to go to New York and do all this stuff for the fashion show? Like, how did that not get brought up at the beginning?
I know, because I don't know. Everything's just like, I don't know. It's crazy.
That's fine. That's fine. But holy cow, how awesome is that? Like, that's so cool.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. It was a great experience. It was good times.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. And the next question is from Brianna, and her question is, what is your favorite bag style to carry?
Okay, girl. I thought that I brought it with me, but I did not. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have grabbed it. But I only carry small bags. And when I say small bags, I mean small bags. So one of my patterns is called a baggy bestie. And I call it that because I know a lot of people don't like small bags like I do. But that's the bag that I wear every day. Every day I have my baggy bestie on me, and it's about this big. And I attach my keys because I lose everything. So I have my keys attached with one of my hardware pieces. So it's always connected to my bag, and that's it. So I just love to wear a small, tiny bag. And this bag is, I can't remember the name, but it's like a Prada bag. If you type in Prada, you'll see the bag that I'm talking about. And yeah, and that's it. I love a small bag, and that's what I wear every day. So just enough for your phone,
like license, credit card, and keys.
And chapstick.
Okay.
That's it. And if I ever am in a situation where I need it to be bigger, I need a bigger bag, I call that pattern the baggy bestie because I take it and I throw it in my other bag because it's so tiny.
So you bring the extra shit you need, but then you can just easily switch back to your norm. Love that.
Yes. That's smart. Yes. So the next day I just take it out because on my essentials are still in that one. And that's it. So yeah, I'm a small baggy person. And a lot of people aren't. So I struggle with my patterns because all I want to do is create patterns like tiny bags, but people don't like that. So I have all these patterns and these bags in my house that never get worn. Like I would never wear this ever in life.
I pretty much the only of my patterns that I carry is my Aries and a simplified version of it. Because to me, all I want is a little container for my phone, hand sanitizer, my tiny little baby wallet, my keys, lip gloss, like maybe a Reese cup and some gum, but that's all I need.
That's all you need is the essentials.
Yeah. And so I never want anything. And I like it to be a crossbody. I like to just reach my hand down, grab what I need and go. Like
It has to be a crossbody.
Yes.
Right.
There are times when I'm getting out of my car and I don't want to put it over my head and I put it on my shoulder, and the walk from my car to my front door is miserable because it's a shoulder bag and not a crossbody.
No, I agree 100%. Like, it has to be a crossbody. Yeah.
I get it. Okay, so now it's the final part of the press pass is where you ask me a question.
Okay, so this is my question for you. So I've read like when you go to Lauren's and you do, like you said, you like to do the open sews.
Yes.
I know that you guys watch a lot of the movies, like
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Okay. And I see that a lot of when you make your bags, the vinyls and stuff, like a lot of it is geared towards that, like that. And the is it only the Lord of the Rings that you like? Like, is it that, or is it like I guess my question was, I've never watched any of, that's like a series, right? Lord of the Rings, there's more than one.
Oh, yeah.
Since I've never gotten into it, if you could recommend one of the movies that you think that I should watch, which one would it be? I was like, she's going to kill me with my question. But I really, because I feel like you're strongly, like you love it so much. And I'm like, that's so cool to love something so much. Like, I should check it out. And like, what would she recommend if I was to dive into this world?
Okay. So here's the thing. So we're going to geek out a little bit about this. Okay. So first and foremost, if you had to watch one movie, you have to get it illegally.
Oh.
Yes. And I'll explain why. Because the Lord of the Rings series is one series of 3 and then a single book, right? So there's The Hobbit, and that's the standalone kind of like, you don't have to go further from here. It's the story of where the hobbits go away, they defeat the dragon, all is good, right? But that's the story where the ring is kind of becomes part of the story, right? So The Hobbit is kind of a great all-inclusive, just one book. But the problem is that if you're asking about a movie, then there was a lot of liberties taken with the Hobbit series, and it's so much longer and it has added so much stuff to it that we don't watch them anymore. But somebody took, and this is, people are going to love this who don't know that it exists but are Lord of the Rings fans. So somebody took all of the 3 Hobbit movies, and they condensed them into one movie called The Book Edit, and it's called the M4 Book Edit. And what it does is it takes all the elements from the book that were in the movies, in between all the other bullshit they added, and they turned it into one, I think it's like a 4-hour movie. Believe me, if you're sitting down to watch any of these movies, believe me, it's a journey. It's not something you're going to get done in one night for the most part. But so if you know anyone who knows how to get movies illegally, I'm not going to do that on a podcast because, but
I know someone. He might live with me.
Just saying, they can't charge it. It might not even be as a torrent, right? They can't charge money for it because But I don't even remember. I think we had learned that maybe it's not available, but it should be still available. Anyway, it's called the M4 Book Edit. And so that gives you, it's beautifully, it is so professionally done. You would have no idea that was put together by a random person somewhere. It is. So that's the only thing that we'll watch. So I would tell you that you should not only watch one, you should watch the M4 Book Edit and then the extended cuts of the other 3 right? So Fellowship, Towers, Return. But if you only are going to select one, it needs to be the M4 Book Edit, because that's the proper way to learn about the story and get introduced to the Lord of the Rings in the way in which J.R.R. Tolkien wanted you to.
Okay.
So
text me that name.
People, there were people that heard that you asked that question and were like, fucking buckle up, guys.
No, and that's why I wanted to ask you. I'm like, if there's anyone I need to ask, it should be Shannon, because
It's funny because at the first Lord of the Rings open I told everyone about this, and I'm like, because we're going to watch all the movies as much as we can over the course of the 2 days. And I was like, you guys don't know this exists. Not that many people do, but you're going to learn today. And we played it, and everyone was just like, this is awesome. But some people like the extra things that they added to the story. I didn't. For me, it wasn't. It took away from what I love so much about the book, right? I just wanted to finish the book. So anyway.
So what you're saying is I should just go read the book and not watch the movie, though.
Maybe. Ish. I mean, you're going, yes, that's always the answer. But what the reality is that people don't do that. So I am speaking to what I know to be true about most people, which is just watch that movie that I told you about, the M4 book edit. I'm going to text you right now.
I'm going to have to remember that. M4 book edit. Okay. And my partner, Dave, actually is a really big fan as well. So he probably would love if I found something like that anyway.
I might, my husband has the link that he has sent to me that I then had to post in the group for the open so people could access it themselves. So if you can't find it, I will help you find it.
Great. No, that would be great. He would love that.
I will not be linking it in the comments or in the description, everybody. But it exists. Please go search for it. So, okay. It is mantra time. So that is just something that we like to leave listeners with that gives them encouragement to keep going. Sometimes it can be silly. Sometimes it can be fun. But today's is a little less silly. Mine today is some projects inspire growth and some force it. Either way, you grow. So I think it's important. It's kind of vibes with a lot of the other mantras I've had, which is just kind of embrace it. It's okay to fail. Like, you learn either way. So just keep learning. That's the good part.
I like that.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. What about yours? Do you have one?
Oh,
your turn.
You're like, your turn, bitch. You know what I'm going to say is I had this tatted on my hand a few years ago, and it says, if you look at my hand from one way, it says, reject their reality. And on the other side of my finger, it says, forge yours. So one side is reject their reality and then forge your reality. And that just came to me one day when I was actually in the middle of dealing with what I was dealing with in that sewing group, because the things that they were saying to me and about me wasn't a representation of what I was doing. They were taking something that I was doing it and twisting it into this, into what it wasn't, and making me out to be a bad person or opportunist for it, when I was coming from a pure, true place in my heart. And it just really affected me tremendously. And then I was just in this sunken place, and I had to tell myself finally, I was like, Ravon, but that's really not what you were doing. That wasn't what you were doing. That's not your reality. Don't let what other people think or say about you or perceive, don't let that be your reality. It's not true. So it just came to me. It's just reject that. Reject what they're doing and what they're putting on you, and make yours, forge what you know is you. Yeah. And it just really stuck in my head, and then I wound up actually getting it tattooed on me. So that's awesome. I guess that can be mine today, is just always stay true to yourself. Don't let what other people say or do, shape you. You have to just shut that out and, be true to yourself.
Absolutely. Focus on what you know to be true. That's so important. And that's awesome. I really like that one. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Of course.
Okay, so where can people find you?
I'm everywhere nowadays. I felt like I had to get with the program and get on social media, so I am everywhere. I'm on Facebook. My group is Love Lola. And then I'm on Instagram. It's the same thing. No, it's actually at Love Lola Looks, because Love Lola was taken everywhere, so I added looks. So my Instagram is Love Lola Looks. My TikTok is Love Lola Looks. My YouTube, Love Lola Looks. My website is lovelolalooks.com. Yeah, everything is Love Lola Looks.
Yeah. And to be clear, it is LUV Lola.
Yes, Looks. That's right. LUV LOLA. Yeah, no, UV.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was an absolute blast. I really had a great time. I appreciate everyone's so vulnerable on the show. I just love the honesty, and all of that. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Like, I am super excited when you reached out. I was like, oh my God, it's Shannon. And then I was like, and she wants me to be on her show. Like, oh my God. So I appreciate you reaching out to me. I really do. I had a great time, and I enjoyed it.
I'm excited to see this was a blast. I'm excited for everyone else to listen in on our antics, because we definitely got in. Your energy is very contagious, and I very much vibed with it the whole time. And so Shannon was a little bit more energetic this episode. I love that.
Good. I'm glad I wasn't too much. Like, I'm telling myself, Ravon, no, keep it in. Like,
nobody is really ever too much around me, unless you make a lot of like really annoying sounds, or like you click a pen constantly. Then you're too much. Get away. But other than that, you're fine.
Good to know. Good to know. No pin clicking around Shannon,
please. Yes. Well, again, thank you so much for joining the show. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I hope you had as much fun during the show as we did while recording it. Ravon's vibe was just fantastic. I just kept thinking the whole time, I wish I could get drunk with her. I'm not sure how appropriate that is to say on the show, but like that was my reoccurring thought of like, she has got to be so much fun, right? And she was, and I know that she would be in person as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show. And of course, now it is time for the Seam Society shoutouts. Tara V, Jessica A, and Hua V, thank you so much for supporting Splitting Seams. Nicole H, Olivia C, and Stacy K, thank you so much for supporting the show. Jabby S, Greg H, and Laurel Z, thank you so much for your Seam Society subscription. Nyasha J, Ash, and Sam W, your support of the show is greatly appreciated. Eileen, Jess P, and Carrie C, thank you so much for your continued support. And last but not least, Gina S. and Brianna, thank you so much for supporting this small indie podcast. And of course, thank you so much to all the Loose Thread subscribers. Your support is also very much appreciated. And to all the listeners and watchers of the show, thank you so much. If you have a moment, please leave a review. Even though this is the penultimate episode of this season, that does not mean that this show will not still exist. And so your continued reviews and ratings and comments and engagement with the show will continue to help it grow, so that when season 2 comes around at some point in 2027, it will be on good footing. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you again in 2 weeks.